Open three is good.
Shot pours a goal. Oh,
Nice.
Tough shooting and score.
Welcome to Sports Jam for the week of January 9th. I'm Jay Wilcox.
I'm John Jacobson. Today on the show, we'll have highlights from the latest wins for the top two boys basketball teams in the Class 4A rankings. We'll meet a Maple Grove hoop star in our Sports Jam spotlight and talk about the girls basketball team that's off to a strong start.
Plus gymnastics and wrestling. Up first, though, boys hockey. It should be a good race in the North Division of the Northwest Suburban Conference. Maple Grove hopes to be a title contender, and they aimed for a key win at Centennial. The Crimson Sam Huff with the puck in the Cougar zone. He puts a great pass onto the stick of Justin Kelly for the shot and goal, and it's 1-0 Maple Grove. Centennial comes back, though, as Lucas McGregor snipes one from just inside the blue line. The power play goal ties it at 1. The Crimson score another to lead 2-1 after 1. In the second, they make it 3-1. Jarrett Camerata with the shot from the high slot. Kelly with his second of the night on the rebound. Up 3-2, Crimson goalie Ethan Hayter makes a nice pad save on the Cougars' Matt Genrich, keeping Maple Grove in the lead heading into the third. But McGregor ties it for Centennial in that third period as one-timer from the top of the circle makes it 3-3 as the Cougars get another power play goal. Maple Grove, though, comes right back. Trevor Kukin knocks the puck down as the Cougars try to clear the zone. Tyler Kostelecki passes to Tevin Nygaard, who skates in and scores. That breaks the tie. Maple Grove adds an empty netter as they win this one 5-3.
Despite the loss of some good seniors from last year's, Wayzata's girls basketball team has played well in the first dozen games of the season. The Trojans were at home to face Chaska and looking for their 9th win. Wayzata had the size advantage on the Hawks, and Camryn Hay passes in deep to Kallie Theisen, who scores down low and putting Wayzata up 11-4. Shaylee Olson contributed 6 points off the bench. Her 16-footer stretches the lead to 10 points. Mimi Schrader drives into the paint, draws the foul, and scores. Sophomore helps Wayzata build a 36-18 halftime lead. Second half, and Sydney Franks drains a three-pointer, one of 6 made threes by Wayzata in the game. And the lead is 25. Emily Spindler hits another three. Wayzata is never threatened in the second half by Chaska. Tyson leads all scores with 16 points. Wayzata beats Chaska 63-43, and we'll hear from the Trojans later in the show. The Maranatha girls are ranked 2nd in Class A. They looked for their 5th straight win after starting the season 0-3. They hosted St. Croix Prep. Kennedy Berquist sends the pass out to Jacqueline Jarnett for the three-pointers for Maranatha. They lead 32-21. Jarnett scores 18 in the game. Quick passing to the Mustangs. Sammy Payne in the right place at the right time, scores on the short jumper, and it's 36-23 MCA. Payne drives and gets the fortunate bounce plus the foul here on her way to a 15-point game. The Mustangs relentless on D. Kylie Post takes the ball away and goes in alone for the layup, and a 40-25 Maranatha lead. And they can shoot it too. Post rattles it home for 3 of her 17 points. Maranatha improves to 5-3 with a 79-47 win.
We're getting into the heart of the high school wrestling season. Two teams that hope to be contenders in their respective sections met up as Maple Grove paid a visit to Totino Grace. 106 pounds, Maple Grove's Joey Thompson gets the pin as the Crimson win 2 of the first 3 matches by fall. A great finish at 132 as Maple Grove's Gavin Peterson gets a takedown as time expires in the third period to win a 9-8 decision. At 145, Grace's William Jager is the winner by fall as the Eagles go in front in the match. The Crimson come right back, though, with a pin at 160 for Sam Curez. And the score is 27-all with 4 matches left. The Eagles get it going. Camryn White wins a tough 2-1 decision at 182 pounds. And Grace closes the night with a 4-2 decision at heavyweight courtesy of Hunter Christensen. Totino Grace wins the duel 42-27. They were 3rd at the Tri-City United tournament over the weekend. At the Brooklyn Center Concordia Academy Invitational, Wayzata takes the top spot with Rogers edging Richfield for 2nd place. Osseo is 4th. Host Brooklyn Center Concordia 7th and Cooper 8th. Hopkins placed 7th at their own Paul Bankson Invitational, which was won by Lakeville South.
One of the state's largest regular season boys swimming and diving meets was held over the weekend at the U of M. In the top division, the Gold, Minnetonka easily takes the title with Eden Prairie second and Stillwater third. Class A power at Breck Blake is fourth and Wayzata finishes eighth. In the Maroon division, the Eau Claire Memorial North Co-op from Wisconsin wins with Mankato West second. Locally, Hopkins is eighth and Osseo 13th in the Maroon. Chaska Chanhassen is the first and Sartell St. Stephen second in the Bronze division. Orono is third with Woodbury fourth. Maple Grove finishes after that in 13th place. And some good competition always in that swim meet down at the Maroon and Gold.
Yeah, after you get through that holiday break, it's nice to get back in there and really get into some good action against good teams too. Next up, some high-powered local boys basketball teams overwhelm their opponents, plus a big gymnastics meet in Brooklyn Park.
Welcome back to Sports Jam.
4 of the top 5 teams in last week's Class 4A statewide basketball poll are from this area, including #1 Champlin Park. On Parents' Night, the Rebels hosted Coon Rapids. Brian Smith jabs the ball loose and goes for a layup. It rolls out, but McKinley Wright is there to clean it up, and it's quickly 7-0 Champlin Park early. Wright attacks in transition, and watch the spin move for the hoop. He leads a balanced attack for the Rebels with 16. Wright gets the steal and great save over to Theo John. Ahead to Josiah Strong for the layup and foul for a 17-6 lead. He scores 10 in the game. Little defense here. John with the big swat, one of 10 blocks for him in the game. DJ Hunter steps up to nail a 3 from the corner as the Rebels start to pull away from their District 11 rivals. Watch this one coming up as Wright throws the lob from half court to John for the big jam. The Rebels lead 50-18 at halftime and win at 83-39.
Right behind #1 Champlin Park in the Class 4A rankings is Maple Grove. The Crimson took on Blaine Friday. Early first half, Jack Hutchison hits a 3-pointer to give the Crimson a 10-2 lead. Brad Davison takes the long pass and drives hard for the basket and foul, putting MG up 26-4. Hutchison's shot is off, but Tawan Pickford elevates for the follow-up slam and 2 more. Bubba Horton is open for 3. He nails it, and the Crimson leads by 29 points. Davison drives in the final seconds of the first half and scores on the scoop shot. Maple Grove routs the Bengals 79-48. We'll meet Maple Grove's Brad Davison later in our Sports Jam Spotlight.
The Heritage Christian Academy boys basketball team has cracked the top 10 in the Class A poll. The Eagles made the short trip to Plymouth to take on Providence Academy on Saturday. Underdog Providence plays well early. Dylan Service drives to the hoop for 2, and the Lions take a 9-8 lead. Seth Halverson comes off the bench to score 4 hoops for Heritage in the first half, including this putback basket, and they lead it by 3. CJ Woda knocks down a long 2 for the Eagles here as they try to pull away. They lead 24-17 after that hoop. Standout football lineman Gavin Blomberg goes to work inside for Providence. He gets the hoop and the foul. They pull within 4 again. Late in the first half, though, Zach Johansson steps into the passing lane and gets the steal and layup as Heritage takes a 7-point lead into halftime. Second half, and Lions top scorer Mark Richardson goes to work, spinning with the post move to score 2 of his team-high 18. After a tough first half, Johansson comes alive for the Eagles, driving to score 2 of his 21 points. Then Woda bats the ball ahead to himself and gets the layup as Heritage pulls away from scrappy Providence for a 71-58 win.
It's always fun getting a win against Providence, kind of a rival with us. We team up in some sports, and I always want to show them which is the better school. But yeah, we played a little rough. Wish we could have had that game back, actually, but a win's a win, so we're proud of that.
The Wayzata boys basketball team is off to a very strong start this winter. Coach Brian Schnettler's Trojans at home last week to face Bloomington Jefferson. Jacob Benega stops at the top of the key and nails a 3. He scores Wayzata's first 8 points. Brian Lindbergh nails a long 2 as the Trojans jump all over the Jaguars to lead 15-2. Luke Paulson drives and then kicks it out to Lindbergh for 3. He scores 20 on the night, and it's 20-4. Wayzata dominates the early goalie. An extra pass finds a wide-open Gavin Baumgartner in the corner for a 26-4 lead. Trojans are up 32-15 at the half. Jefferson fights back into it. Haller Reamersma driving for 2 of his 19 points. They get as close as 11. The sophomore Benega drives for the finger roll for 2 of his 17 points. And then off the inbounds pass, Wayzata makes Jefferson pay for the double team. Ben Gross pulls up to hit the jumper. They break the press as Mitchell Faust here will get the layup for Wayzata. Trojans win 66-53, and they won again Friday to improve to 9-0 on the season.
Now to gymnastics, where old rivals Park Center and Osseo met up in Osseo's home gym in the Northwest Suburban meet. This is Laura Payne of Osseo on the vault. She records the second best score on her team with a 7.7. Park Center was without one of their top gymnasts, Maddie Clausen, but their other state returner, Haley Illy, performing here. She scores an 8.725 for this routine to top the Pirates on the uneven bars, and Illy is the all-around winner for the meet as well. To the balance beam, and Park Center 7th grader Chandra Vu. She has an impressive showing for the Pirates. She's the only competitor to score in the 9s in this event, recording a 9.105 as the Pirates build a lead on the Orioles. Alyssa Johnson of Osseo Fridley has her team's top score on the floor exercise with a 7.6 and is her team's top all-arounder. Janthony Vu scores a 9.2 on floor for Park Center. As they win the meet, they score 134.120.
Park Center was one of 4 teams from the area competing in the MGGLA meet. The 16-team event featured many of the state's top teams. Maple Grove also in that meet, and this is the Crimson's Nadia Abid. She turned a great balance beam performance in fact, the best of the day, scoring a 9.55. Champlin Park's Cheney New is one of the state's best prep gymnasts. She scored a 9.25 on the bars, but later won the vault and was second on the beam and won the all-around title. Park Center's Haley Illy set a school record in the vault a year ago. She finishes 6th in this meet, landing with a score of 9.625. Pirates team finishes 6th in Division I of this meet. Detroit Lakes may be the state's best team, and Molly Lingast finishes 2nd overall on the uneven bars with a score of 9.375, losing only to Delaney Gipp of Lakeville North. Here are the team scores for the 8 schools in Division I. Detroit Lakes edges Lakeville North by 0.2 of a point to win with a mark of 147.2. Lakeville South is 3rd, right ahead of 3 local schools. Champlin Park is 4th, Maple Grove 5th, and Park Center 6th. News all-around score, 37.95. Great talent on hand there at Park Center. Jay Breck was in Division II, and the Mustang Sailor Hawkins won the balance beam.
Yeah, great to see some of the best local gymnasts and teams holding their own against the state's best, too. A great meet. Straight ahead in our Sports Jam Spotlight, meet a basketball and football star from Maple Grove High School. Maple Grove's boys basketball team is 6-1 entering the week and ranked number 2 in Class 4A. In this week's Sports Jam Spotlight, we meet Crimson 4-year starter and Wisconsin signee Brad Davison. He's one of the best athletes in the Northwest suburbs in the past decade. Maple Grove point guard Brad Davison is relishing this senior season of basketball, his 4th varsity campaign.
So much fun, just the camaraderie with my teammates and the coaching staff. We have a lot of fun in practice and in the locker room, but just the competition with those good teams is huge for us early in the season before we get going in the playoffs and get going with conference play, just to really see where we're at and get some confidence going.
For all of his physical talent as a shooter and playmaker, Brad's other skills are off the charts.
He's intense. He's a great leader. He knows the game of basketball inside and out, and we trust him with that. We trust him to run the offense. We know he's going to make good decisions, and most importantly, he's a good friend off the court as well.
Brad's obviously a great all-around player and person off the court as well. Just his work ethic is really something that a lot of people should look at. He's in here before and after practice, and not many guys put in the work like that, and just the way he leads by example, and obviously he's really vocal on and off the court.
Amazing leader, on and off the floor, in the classroom, in the hallways at school, on the floor, communicator, floor general, scorer, assist passer, rebounder, he does everything.
Davison's very popular with Crimson fans, but maybe not so much at places like Osseo, Park Center, and Champlin Park.
That's the best part about high school sports, and that's something I'm really looking forward to in college, just because there is so much competition. And, you know, it's not negative, it's positive. I take it as a sign of respect. They know who you are, they know what you've done, they know what you're about, and that's just their way of showing you respect.
Brad's not the first Davison to star for Maple Grove. Older sisters Stephanie and Angie were great players for the Crimson, who both went on to play D1 ball at Northern Iowa. Brad learned from his big sisters.
A lot, immense amount. Just being in the gym with them when I was 3 or 4 years old. 'Cause my sisters were always coached by my parents growing up. So I was always on the bench in practices, at the tournaments. I was the halftime show. And just, I think the biggest thing they taught me was work ethic. You know, they put in so much time into their games to get to become how successful they've been. And I owe a lot to them, not just for basketball, but just being positive role models for me, not only on the court, but just in life.
He's a great basketball player, but there are plenty of football coaches that say Davison is just as good or better in that sport. As a third-year starter at quarterback this fall, he passed for over 2,100 yards and 21 touchdowns and rushed for nearly 900 yards and 14 TDs, while leading the Crimson to the state playoffs. Brad was named Star Tribune Metro Player of the Year. A lot of college football coaches wanted Davison to play for them, but he'd already decided basketball was his ticket.
The problem was I think I made my decision to play basketball when I was about a sophomore, for sure. But it's so hard, just because I really only took football seriously when I started as a sophomore. That's when I really thought that I got a chance to do something special here at Maple Grove. So I've put a lot more time into basketball, so it meant a lot more to me as I was growing up. But when it came down to it, it was a really hard decision because I love football.
A great student, a great leader and athlete. Well, there must be something Brad Davison doesn't do well, right?
I'd have to say baseball. You know, I've seen him play baseball a few times. I think I could strike him out.
Well, he's terrible at pig. I don't think he's ever beaten me in pig. We play, you know, on Saturdays we play some pig games after practice. He'll tell you that he's beaten me, but he's lying.
I'll give him a lot. Like, he's a decent shooter, but he's never beat me in pig, and he knows it. So if we're off camera, he'd let you know that he's never beat me in pig. A lot of things I wish I was better at. One thing I wish, I've never learned how to skate. My dad never let me learn how to skate. And I think if I could become better at one thing, I'd probably say singing. I think that would be so much fun, just to be a super good singer and be able to perform in front of people on a stage.
Davison is averaging 24.6 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 6.7 assists per game. His sister Angie is a senior starter at Northern Iowa, where oldest sister Stephanie finished her career last season. John talks basketball with the Wayzata girls when Sports Jam returns.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. As you saw earlier in the show, the Wayzata Trojans are now 9-3 on the season. They defeated Chaska on Friday night. And now big game coming up later this week against Hopkins. And they join us now on the show. Let's start with head coach Mike Schumacher. And Mike, we talked to you last week. Jay came over to practice. You talked about your team's play. And how do some of the non-conference games get you ready for conference play when you got to play like a Hopkins this week?
Well, you know, our schedule's pretty good. So I know a lot of emphasis is put on the conference play, and you're playing for a conference title and whatnot. But the reality is we play 26 games, and we try to get better each game and try to fine tune and try to correct mistakes and improve each game. So you just try to make adjustments as you go and not really put that much emphasis on what conference people are playing, and we're just trying to win games and get better.
You graduated some good seniors last year, but you had a lot of these girls that had varsity experience. How much have they improved and developed just in this last year, do you think?
A lot. You know, our core group that were fundamental players in our program last year really put in a good off season. They worked really hard. They were coming to the gym in the mornings and the afternoons, shot the ball a lot, really worked hard on the fundamentals. So it really felt like we were going to come back ready to go with the effort that those girls put in the off season.
Mike, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Joined now also by two of the Wayzata players, and let's start with Camryn Hay. And Camryn, talk about your team's effort tonight against Chaska, a team that you've played in the past, but what did you guys need to do, and what did you do well tonight?
As a team, I think we brought a lot of energy to the floor. One of our focuses has been coming together as things get difficult, and I think we did a great job of just playing together from the start. So I'm very happy with how the game went. I think we did a very good job.
What has this team done well overall this season through 12 games?
We have a great team culture. The relationships with the girls is just makes it so much more fun on the court as well as off the court. But that does really help us play together, and we focus on keeping up our intensity throughout practices and throughout games, and I feel like we've done a very good job of that so far.
It was alumni night tonight, and I don't know if you had a chance to talk to any of those players or see them across the way, but it's kind of fun to see players who have come through this program, maybe the girls you played with or ones you saw growing up, 5-6 years out, that have still come back to watch the team.
Yes, absolutely. I love seeing my former teammates. It's always great to see them, especially since they don't get to come back as much as I would like. But yes, it's always great on alumni night.
Good luck the rest of the season, Camryn.
Thank you.
Kallie Theisen joined us as well. It's been a good season for you. You're leading scorer and leading rebounder. Tell me about your play this year. How do you think you've developed as a player?
Yeah, I think I've definitely worked really hard during the off season, and it's just like a whole team effort, getting like the right players the ball in the right time. We all just work really hard, and I think we lost some seniors last year, so everyone's had to step up, and I think we've all done that.
Defensively, how important is your team's size in your success? I mean, definitely played a role in the win against Chaska, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. It's extremely important. We've been working so hard on defense at practice, and so size, we just need to make sure that we're moving our feet, because sometimes we have trouble with that, and then have good help, and that can help with our size too. So.
I mentioned Hopkins comes up on Friday night in your next Lake Conference game. Huge challenge to play the Royals. What's the key when you play a Hopkins team?
It's really just one stop at a time. We really just need to play good defense and take care of the ball, like Shu said, pass to blue jerseys. And I think if we do that, we can get it done.
Good luck the rest of the season. Thanks for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Wayzata Trojans coming into this week 9-3 on the season. Big Lake on Monday, and then Friday night at the Lindbergh Center at Hopkins. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap up Sports Jam after this. First, here's a look at our plays of the week.
Hempel. Oh, get it back, and Faust will lay it in.
Tough shot up, good, and a foul. Schrader hits the basket, and will try to make it a three-point play.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. As life gets busier than ever, we will still offer you a connected community experience through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Our game of the week is a Metro West Conference girls basketball game as 10-2 Cooper hosts St. Louis Park. Watch the game live Tuesday night at 7 on CCX Sports Channels 12 and 799 and on the web at ccxmedia.org, or catch the replay Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. And that will do it for this week's show. Thanks so much for watching Sports Jam.
And finally, special thanks for all his work behind the scenes throughout the years to Scott Jamison, who is working his final Sports Jam today. Scotty J has been a valuable member of our production team throughout the years, and we wish him the best of luck. We'll be back with you starting next Tuesday on account of Martin Luther King Day. We are off next Monday. We'll see you next time here on Sports Jam.